and clover. Found a dream that I could speak to, a dream that I can call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I had never.
Here at Sisters Uptown Bookstore on the Lenny and Otis Show. We have our wonderful guest, Miss Louise Murray, and she's here to talk about her long, illustrious career. She's been singing for the past several years, probably the past 30 to 40 years. 56 years to be exact. She's been singing for the past 56 years. And she's had her songs featured on several different major motion movies. And we would like to talk to her about her singing career. So, Miss Murray, how did you get started in singing?
First of all, I started at the Apollo when I was 8, and I won, and I kept going back and forth there, and I kept winning. And then when I turned 13, my girlfriend told me about this group that was being organized. So she said, why don't you go and try out? And I did. And it was the Hearts. The name of the group was the Hearts. And when they heard me, they kept me in the group. And that record went to number 1 or 2, I don't know, but it's in the movie Raging Bull.
Raging Bull, okay. Great, great. And so what other songs have we?
Okay, then after that, I started with the group called the Jaynettes. Those were the sisters of 3 girls, 3 ladies. And that became a hit record.
What was the hit record?
Shouting Around Roses. And it was pretty big, pretty big. And that was in Colors and in The Sopranos.
Okay, so it was in 2 movies, Colors and Sopranos. Okay,
yeah.
So that's a big hit for you guys. Good, good. So did you do any traveling or promotion with it here in the U.S.?
Yeah, well, I didn't do much traveling at that time. I'm doing more traveling now today than then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now today I'm with the Supergirls. Those are girls that all had hit records, 5 of us. We all had a hit record. So we formed a group, so now we have a group called Supergirls.
What other groups were they part of?
One girl was in the Exciters, the Cookies, Rock Around and the Delrons, and the Raindrops.
So you sing what level? Are you soprano, alto?
Well, I have 6 octaves, 6 drums.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay. Great. So what are your new projects that you're coming up with now?
Well, right now with a guys group, Willie Winfield and the Harptone, they had quite a lot of hits. So I've been with them about 2 years now.
Okay, so you're with Willie
Winfield.
Okay,
and the Harptone.
Okay, and you're also
And
with
the girl.
You're very busy.
Yeah, I stay busy.
Okay. Any other projects that are coming up in terms of movies? Or?
No movies, other shows, but that's many shows.
Okay. Where's your next show taking place?
In Walkman's in Florida. I'll stay.
Okay.
That's the next one.
Are you performing with which group?
With the girls, Supergirls this one. And then I'll be at Count Basie's again. with Willie. That's it. A lot of travel.
You said Camp Basie's. Where?
Camp Basie's in Red Bank, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
We just left the Beacon Theater. 72nd Street. We just left there.
So you're a Harlem native, right?
Oh, yes, I know.
So how has living in Harlem, how has that influenced your music?
Well, the people like it, you know, but they don't come to the shows like the other people.
Okay.
The other was crowded there.
That's okay, because you're definitely a multi-talented person, so that's good. That's good. So you perform at the Apollo, you're still doing projects over here.
Yeah.
Great. And you're still planning on traveling to other locations?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. So you have a lot that's going on here in the world. Good. So where would you like to see yourself in the next couple of years?
Still do the same thing.
More traveling?
More singing.
Okay. Were you signed to any labels?
Yes, I was on the first record label with Baton. And then I was working some of the local labels, and then I was on Bird. That was the last Bird.
Tell me a little bit more about the Bird.
Bird, the record that I made was solo for some, and The Love I Give was a big seller in England, and it still is.
Oh, it still is a big seller.
It was a big seller, but I never got to travel with it.
Okay, so maybe that should be something that you do. Travel to England.
Right.
Great.
Oh.
Excellent. All right, good. So, we have here Miss Louise Murray, Harlem native, multi-talented person, sings at 6 different levels of music, a wonderful talent. So come out to performances. When's the next date for your performance?
August 8th, I think.
August 8th?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, and where is it being held?
Wappinger Falls.
Wappinger Falls? Okay, so come out and see her. It was lovely interviewing you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out. Don't you go downtown.
Yeah.
Sally, don't you go downtown.
Yeah.
Saddest thing in the whole wide world is to see your baby with another girl.
Cry,
Oh, Sally, baby, cry. Let your hair hang down. Yeah, let your hair hang down. Yeah. Saddest thing in the whole wide world is to see your baby with another girl.
Sally, go round the roses.
Go round the roses. Sally,
Go round the roses. Sally, go round the roses.
Sally, go round the pretty roses.
Roses don't tell your secrets. They won't tell your secrets. They won't tell your secrets.
Now the roses won't tell your secret. Sally, baby, cry.
Let your hair hang down. Everybody, let me cry. Let your hair hang down.
Let's go.
Sally, go round the roses. Sally, go round the roses.
Sally, go round the pretty roses.
All right. Yo, Will. That was beautiful. Yo, Lenny, we're going to sign you up, me and Will, right? But guess what? We get 95%. Yo, Will, we get 95%, all right?
Where you going back?
He only getting 5%.
all them.
You only getting 5%. It was nice.
And welcome to the LMS Show. My name is Lenny Matthews. Give yourselves a big hand. Hooray! Doing it as sisters, everybody. Sisters, please. You know, I meet so many interesting, book authors that come through sisters. I'm not plugging sisters on there. Let's get this straight now. Like, I am, yes and no. But we a lot of book people write books. Everybody got a book in them. This particular topic is something that it's suffered by a lot of people in America today. Stuttering, especially with young kids, and especially young kids going to school, and growing up, kids could be very, very, very vicious. And sometimes that can hang on to you the rest of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like for you to meet Wet Oliver Speaks, and I'd like for you to meet the young lady. What's your name, my friend?
Kimberly.
Say it out loud, everybody.
Kimberly Garment. I co-authored When Oliver Speaks with my son, Sadi Quicks.
Give her a big hand, everybody. Now, with your son.
Yes, with my son.
How old is your son?
My son is 16 now.
16?
Yeah.
What gave you an idea for this book?
It was him. My son is 16 years old. He is a person who stutters, and he stuttered for as long as he could speak. At 8, he was bullied for his speech, and at 9, he created the nonprofit organization Let Me Finish with 3 L's, and he advocates for young people who stutter. And so on a train ride in the city, he leaned over to me at 14 and said, "Can we write a book?"
Oh.
And, I said,
not playing video games, right?
No. Can I write a book? You can do anything.
Yes, you can.
Well, what do you want to write this book about? I said, I want to write a children's book about a brown boy who stutters, because there are no brown children protagonists in stories, and there isn't a book that talks about stuttering, and so I want to write a book. And so on the train, I pulled out my phone and I started taking the notes in my phone, and by the time we got to Penn Station, we had a book.
What? You had a book?
We had a book.
You had a book in you. Oh, give her a big hand. Yeah. Did he ever tell you, like, the experiences that how, like when he gone through it in school?
Oh, for sure. Let Me Finish started as a Facebook page, and so he would, I would type for him because he was, 9 and kind of like he's a hunt and pecker. But he would tell me about his day, and I would type about it, and he would let the Facebook world know like what it was like to be a person who stutters. And so if you were the waitress who finished his order, if you were the pizza delivery man who didn't, was rude to him.
When the waitress order, what happened there?
Well, oftentimes when people, like when you're interacting with people who stutter, it seems quite natural, I guess, to finish the person's sentence. And so if you finished his sentences, he would talk about you. If you didn't let him finish, he would talk about you. If you hung up on him on the phone when he was trying to place an order, he would talk about you.
But I'm a restaurant freak. What did the waitress rush him or what?
There are a number of things that people do. I mean, think about it. Just think about it. I guess no one wants to wait. No one, I guess the level of patience that people have today for people in general is kind of at an all-time low. And so if my son is trying to order a pepperoni pizza and he's trying to get out pepperoni because he's stuck on it, and she interjects and says pepperoni, that's disrespectful, because you don't do that to a person who's fluent.
Yeah. Because sometimes, like my son has a thing, you know, and sometimes I'll take him to the restaurants and they have a thing called, you know, flipping tables, because they want to flip that table to the next person.
Oh.
You know, they sit back, okay, yeah, here, give you the menu, come around there, give you the meal, you all right? Here's the check and get out of here. That happened to me at a place over in Brooklyn. Oh, this and Peter won't mention this guy's name when there, because why should I give this clown a free plug? And they shut the restaurant down.
The curb too.
Huh? Yeah, kick him to the curb too. That's all I'm gonna say. Go ahead, go back.
No, but that, I mean, it's just, they're just, I guess, communication rules that people aren't familiar with when engaging with a person who stutters. And it's just a matter of, you know, being respectful and being courteous. And oftentimes people aren't.
Is that like a disability in a sense? Could you call it?
I mean, I guess you can call it a disability, but we've never treated it as a disability. In fact, Sadiq just was like running an ad, so to speak, and said that his stutter was his superpower, you know, and so what's yours? And oftentimes children ask him, you know, if you could take your stutter away, would you? And, you know, he's, you know, definitively no. He would.
You have a lot of famous people, you know, and they admit in public that they stutter.
Right. And I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, stuttering is genetic, and so I am a person who stutters.
Yes.
My uncle stuttered.
Yes.
It's typically skips a generation.
Yes.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if the environment kind of allowed itself that those people, those famous people who are now fluent, I wouldn't be surprised if they had pockets of disfluency. Because as fluent as I am, I'm still a person who stutters, and so there are moments when I am disfluent.
Take a look at this book here.
It's a pretty good book. Giovanni said it's a book that indeed needed to be shared.
It's a book that needs to be shared.
Yeah.
This is back here. This is having your son right here. 13 years old. Look at that. You know, he's 16 now, right?
Now he's 16.
16 now. Look at that young brother doing something for himself. Got a good mama to help him out.
Well,
And you're a professional speaker too, right?
that's what they said.
Okay. And you hold a degree in mass communication from Fairleigh Dickinson. And when you're not, you know, writing and reading and spending time with friends and family, and you appear regularly on guests, especially guests on radio shows around the country. What radio show you been on?
Man, I can't even think of. We were in Princeton. We've been in college radio he's done.
This is interesting. You know, look at this book. Oliver, let me see. The one thing that Oliver doesn't enjoy is speaking. You know, sometimes you know, when you speak, you know, sometimes you get kind of nervous. You know, like sometimes I'll call, you know, the professor here on the phone, and I'll tell him the day before, I told Corey, I said, you know, I'm kind of nervous. And, you know, sometimes you don't know, sometimes you're conscious of things too, right? When you say things. Right?
What do you mean conscious?
I mean, like you don't want to say the wrong thing.
Well, no, I don't know that has anything to do with a person who stutters. Their anxiety mostly comes from what the listener's perception of them speaking is. So it's not that they're nervous about what it is they have to say. It's not that they don't know what they want to say. They're more, like I said, their anxiety stems from the reaction of others. So if you break eye contact, then now you've signaled to them in some way that what they have to say isn't important.
How's your son doing with his nonprofit organization?
Oh, he's doing really well.
Okay.
Yeah, he's actually planning a book bag drive.
Oh, okay. That's right, going back to school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to give the book away, but I think folks should. I'm not staying by him on the air, but we said we want people to read this book, especially the children's book. How old for children? What age?
Kindergarten at first, you could do it as a read aloud. Second to fifth, it's an independent read. Funny story. Look, my girlfriend's daughter they took a picture of her reading the book, and I asked if she read it, because it's that, like, we put the stutter in the book, and so when kids read it, like, they're reading the stutter. And so I said, I see the picture, was she reading it with the stutter? And they were like, yeah, like she thought it was pretty cool. She never heard a person who stutters or had seen a stutter to be able to identify what one was. And so if nothing else, I mean, like, your kids are being exposed to, a topic that they may be unfamiliar with, and through Oliver's eyes and experiences, they're learning acceptance and tolerance for things much larger than speech at some point.
I would like to thank you very much for joining me today on the LMS Show. Also, too, you do other things too, right?
Yeah, but we're not talking about
We're
that.
we're talking about another day.
Another day. This is all about Oliver.
All about Oliver.
All about
Oliver. Right here. We thank you so much.
So you want to tell them where they can get the book?
Well, we can't.
We can't do that?
No, because it's on the public access channel.
Oh, okay. Well, search for it.
Search for it. That's the best way. Search for it. And you will find it.
And you will find it.
Seek and you shall find.
Right. And if you spin around and look, you might find it here.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Seek and you shall find.
I thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And your name, please?
Kimberly Garvin.
Kimberly Garvin, everybody. And we'll be right back and take it down.
Your eyes, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Open your heart. Open your heart. And whisper, I love you. I love you. Tell me you love me. You love me. Tell me you love me. 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 Hold me tight. Hold me tight. Don't say goodnight. Don't say goodnight. We had time. Lots of time. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Hold me tight. Never let me go. Come on and tell me. And tell me. You love me. You love me. You love me. You love me. No, no, no. No, no, no. Even though this is not the way I want it to be. But if you has to pretend, false pretend, that's all right with me. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Open your heart. Open your heart. And whisper, I love you. I love you. Tell me you love me. Never let me go. Come on and tell me. And tell me you love me. I love you, darling. With all my heart and soul. All right now. Beautiful. But we stayed in key too, man. We stayed in key. That's what we needed to understand.
Now they go down the road.
Exactly.